Today we're here to talk to you about the A.F. Bennett lineage and a little bit of the history about A.F. Bennett. I'm here with my father, the owner of A.F. Bennett. So, Dad, tell me a little bit about the lineage of A.F. Bennett, a little bit of the history.
You know, the history of A.F. Bennett kind of goes all the way back to like 1990. Your mom and I, we started this business in a tanning salon, believe it or not.
Yeah.
A friend and I was a carpenter, New York City carpenter, and I got laid off. And I was just kind of like just wandering around the city, figuring out what I was going to do. And
Right.
I wound up in a beauty school. And there was a whole bunch of people out there that said, "Hey, why don't you come upstairs?" I went upstairs and I signed up in beauty school. Before it was not too long, your mom decided to sign up. She signed
Right.
up. We got our licenses, and we started out in a tanning salon right on Avenue U. Believe it or not,
Mm.
the place is still there. We were up on top of an animal clinic
Wow.
in the tanning salon. I had my carpentry skills, and what I do, I built it out. I built out the one room, and the coolest thing was I remember we had like one hairdressing chair, a mirror, and if I had a 10 o'clock appointment, that means your mom could have an 11 o'clock appointment, then I can have a 12. So we couldn't have two appointments at once because we only had one chair, and that's kind
Right.
of like where we started out.
I love that. I love that. And then you were the one doing the color, and then Mom was the one doing the hairdressing, right?
So yeah, we eventually got to that, but here's what happened. We were in that place, and the owner of that place wound up not paying the electric bill. We were paying them rent, and the
Oh my
lights went
gosh.
off. And Mom's friend said, "Hey, listen, I got this really cool idea. I got this place on Avenue U by Lester's, down by Coney Island Avenue, and there's a place called PJ's Cosmetics, and in the back they had this little studio for two chairs in it,
Right.
already ready to rock and roll for hairdressers." And we went in. As luck would have it, and God would put it in our hands, we wound up getting that second little spot, and that's where we started with two chairs, and we made a decision at that particular point in time. Who's going to cut and who's going to color? Because back in those days, you had to be a specialist.
Right.
And I said, okay, I guess I'll do the coloring. And Mom,
I love that.
since she was much better than me doing haircuts, she did that. And my only haircuts that I would do is I would wind up doing haircuts in like my bedroom for my friends and
Right.
get money for the clubs and go out for a couple drinks.
That's
So
great.
I said, you know something, you got the haircutting.
Okay, I like that. And at that point, was it called A.F. Bennett, or it later became morphed into A.F. Bennett?
Well, when we first opened up in the tanning salon, it was called Innovative Hair Concepts.
Okay.
Mom made up these really cool cards, and it was really, really cool. Then we moved over to the other place on Avenue U by Lester's.
Right.
The cool thing was, we said, what are we going to call it? Well, Mom being Chinese and me being Italian, and then we said, let's have a play on hair, and if somehow we can incorporate that Chinese into that. So in Chinese culture, the really wealthy men would have like this ponytail in the back of the head, and it was called a queue. But interestingly, because the ironic piece was there was a play on words, so the queue also means in English is to line up. So we said, oh, cool, people lining up for hair.
I never knew that.
So
That's so interesting.
we called ourselves Salon Q, and we were there for 2 years.
Wow. Okay. And then where was the original A.F. Bennett, and how did you guys come up with that name?
Oh, geez. So we were working in Salon Q. We were deciding what we were going to do next because, we were outgrowing that space. We were building up this big clientele. Mom and I never really worked for anybody building up as a hairdresser. We built up organically, right from the bottom.
Right.
We never worked in another salon and stole customers from another person who owned a salon. We did our thing like that. But the cool thing was we found, actually, Anne found this place right in Dyker Heights, across the street from Nathan's, right where your grandmother's Chinese restaurant is, on the same block.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it was for rent. And I got the number, and I called this guy, on the phone. I was like, listen, we really want the spot, whatever. We took a look at it, and we gave him our number, and we went back to work on Avenue U, and the guy calls us back and says, I'm sorry, I rented it to somebody else.
Oh, jeez.
And we were so disappointed because it was in Dyker Heights, is where we were from.
Right.
So we kind of put our heads in our hand. And then a day later, the phone rings again and says, hey, Frank, and if you want the spot, it's yours. The other people backed out, and we took it.
I love that. I love that. So for a long time, I know that we were just in the hair area. How did we get more morphed into massage, facials, manicures? But how did we morph into that area?
Well, when we were on 86th Street, right? So we were on 86th Street in Dyker Heights. We had a 750 no, 900 square foot salon. We only did hair services, and we were blasted busy. I have to be honest with you. Some people talk and hype themselves up. This is where I will hype ourselves up. We were the busiest small salon in all of Brooklyn. People would travel from New Jersey, from Long Island, from Staten Island. That, by the way, that's kind of why we're here in Staten Island now.
Right.
And we were just super busy. Your mom started getting into holistic services. She was into Ayurveda. She was into Pilates.
Right.
She was into yoga 20 years ago before anyone was into this stuff. And it was your mom that kind of opened up the whole world of wellness and relaxation. And from there, 5 years later, we were in that spot. We were doing great. A lot of our guests and our customers were coming into us from Staten Island. And we said, what's the next step? Let's have another location in Staten Island. And that's how we opened up AF Bennett Salon and Wellness Spa on Newt Up Lane.
Right. And I know originally it wasn't necessarily called AF Bennett Salon and Wellness Spa, right? The original one was called...
The original one was called AF Bennett Salon of Art and Science.
I love that. It's such a unique name. It's so different.
Yeah, we were kind of kooky that way.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I know a big part of what we offer here, it's all about guest experience. You know, obviously it's not just about the haircut you get, it's not just about the massage you get, but it's about the overall guest experience. What originally sparked you and Ma's passion in regards to guest experience as opposed to kind of just providing, you know, a really nice, you know, haircut or, you know, massage?
You know, we always, you know, we were partners, and you know, we were a couple, but we were as much as we were we're a married couple, we were partners.
Right.
So we always had these great visions of doing things differently. I remember she and I going to the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons. We would travel to all these different places, and we would see what incredible service would look like, and we said, you know, I see that for us. I see bringing this to Staten Island, because people from Staten Island should not have to go to Manhattan to experience this. And to be honest with you, we surpassed many of the places in Manhattan, and we still do to today.
No, I love that. I love that. In regards to the spa space, I know we are currently doing massage therapy. We do body treatments. We do facials. We do pedicures. We do manicures. We do all of that awesome stuff. So my question to you is, do you go for those services? Do you have a special place in your heart for those services?
Well, I've kind of always kind of recognized that we're super busy, and I never want to take slots away from guests because the book is so slammed all the time. But I do sneak in for an occasional facial.
I was going to say, I do the same thing every once in a while. I'm not going to lie.
I do. I slip in for that occasional facial, and I love that facial. It makes me feel relaxed. It's part of my skincare regimen, and it's kind of why everyone says, "Oh, you look great, Frank. You know, you look great for your age, whatever it is." Well, it's due to our people, our products. We kind of live what we do here.
So another question that I had for you was, you know, AF Bennett has always been kind of elaborate with the design, the concept of it. One thing I could speak upon is, you know, the ceiling. You know, it's very elaborate. It's very regal. How did we come up with that design? Did we use somebody for that, or was that kind of you guys, or how'd that work?
Well, one of the things that, you know, we were always really, really great at, you know, people have called me a Renaissance man, you know, and again, not to blow my own horn here, but you my son, you know, I could race cars. I write creatively. I could do carpentry. I could do hair color. I could do a lot of different things. So I do a lot of things well, and those are just kind of God-given gifts. And I'm not blowing my horn here, but I designed the place. I designed the layout. I told our architect what to do. When we got to the point of interior design, you know, people are like, okay, who's your interior designer? I mean, your multi-million-dollar project, you know, who's going to do this? And I said, I am. And they're like, hold on a second. What do you mean? You're going to do all the interior design? You're going to pick out all the fixtures, everything, the paint, this, that, whatever, decor. I said, yeah, I got it. Because your mom and I always had this incredible eye. And to be honest with you, she was a big, huge part of that as well in putting this together. She was like really motoring behind the chair. I had a little more free time to break away and actually get these things done. So she was responsible for the whole incredible portion of the building out the spa, the Ayurvedic services, and all of the incredible wellness services and the yoga. I was the guy that was doing, how's this place going to look?
Right.
How's it going to flow? What's the operations going to look like? How is it going to actually be a place that's going to accommodate people? And guess what? Here we are, 25 years later,
Yeah.
and we're rock and roll. We're busier now than we were back then. So to answer your question, I rolled around. This is a true story. I'm not even kidding. I rolled around on a skateboard on my back. This is back before computers, okay? Back before CAD design.
Right.
I rolled around on a skateboard with draft paper on my back, and I drew out a ceiling on scale.
That's crazy.
And the whole motif of upstairs was British, English, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, Regal.
Right.
The spa was inspired by Tibetan, Indian, Eastern accents mixed with just a little bit of like a Casablanca type of feeling to it.
I love
you
that.
feel some Turkish things in there.
Right.
So there's like a lot of flavors going on there. None of it was accidental. The colors, everything, the schemes, everything was point by point done.
Right. I mean, what I like about it is it feels like two different worlds. You go into the spa, it feels like it's a complete Zen zone. It's completely spa oriented. It's very relaxing. You're you're transformed to more of an Eastern, area. And when you go upstairs, you have that Regal, you have that Versailles, you have that,
Versailles.
Royal English. I mean, I just love it. It's two different areas and they're two extremely unique to themselves, but I think it's just fantastic.
You and other people have asked us, like, hey, why don't you just redesign AF Bennett upstairs and make it modern? We just can't.
Right.
We update it, refresh it, bring cool things into it, but we can't get away from that original thought of, catch it because it's good, East meets West.
I love it.
And that's the whole thing. And that's the reason why we can never go modern up here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a big part of the spa industry, a big part of the salon industry is constantly renewing, constantly introducing new things. What's AF Bennett's future look like? Where are we going in regards to services, in regards to where we're at right now? What does our future look like?
Our future looks a lot like experiential.
Right.
We're bringing on, once again, where we're filming from right now is we're in our party suite where we do kids parties, we do adult parties, spa parties, we do bridal parties. We've already booked quite a few of them. It's an incredible experience. You can't see that now because we got the green screen up over here and a couple things happening in here. But if you were in this room, check it out. You'd be like, wow, what a cool place.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Like I want a rocket party at AF Bennett.
Definitely. Definitely.
And we also have a whole experience area, which we're doing, which I'm not going to say on this mic right now because it's secretive, but there's something huge coming.
I'm excited for it. And I've seen a little bit of the layout and it looks fantastic. So I'm really pumped up for that. Yeah, I'm pumped up for it. Definitely. Well, I appreciate you taking this time, going through the lineage of AF Bennett with me, talking a little bit about where we came from and where we are now. And on that, I think we'll sign off.
Absolutely. Love you, son.
I love you.